Yes, many thanks for staying tuned with us on Frontline this morning. Now let's go on with our interview segment of the show, where we have something very important to discuss. Parenting has not been easy, but it comes with more challenges in this 21st century, from navigating the digital world to raising emotionally and intellectual children to balancing career and family life. And today's parents are constantly adapting to this fast changing society. Gone are the days when one size fits all parents, but today we have varieties of approach influenced by technology, culture, and also greater awareness of mental health and child development. So it's quite challenging. Parenting in this 21st century is quite challenging. Hence why we are going to have a conversation around 21st century parenting. And joining us this morning to have this conversation is Mrs. Oluwatoyin Daniel. Mrs. Oluwatoyin Daniel is a child protectionist and also a family counselor. It's good to have you on the program once again this morning.
Good day, ma'am.
Yes, thank you so much for coming. So let's start with a broad view. How would you compare parenting in those times with parenting of this century?
Thank you so much. Parenting in those times, you mean when we were raised?
Yes.
Growing up. You know, it was actually something different. But firstly, what is the parenting? I think we should talk about that first. Parenting is about modeling. And modeling is you're building something out. It will be, okay, let's take, for example, the bonsai. If I want to do a replica of this board, I will have to look for the material and build something exactly like that. Even though it is not perfectly it should be something similar. And in modeling, you could build something that is better off. You understand? And at the same time, you could build something that will not be up to that standard. So parenting is all about building your replica, building someone else. Now you're building a child. You know, we talk about physical modeling, simulation, computer, and all that comes into raising a child. Whatever you put into that child is what they give you. So parenting is about building a child, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. So whatsoever you put into that child is what you see in the package that will become the adult or the teenager or the father or the mother or whatsoever of tomorrow. So whatsoever we do around the child, not necessarily what you tell the child to do. Because parenting in those days, you know, I was discussing with someone, I used to say it, not even discussing with someone, I still said it about 2 days ago. I said, do you know, there were never occasions that our parents will sit us down and start telling us some things. So they do. But most of the things that came out of us were not the things that were being told. Were the things we saw in our parents, were the things, their actions, the things they were doing, how they were relating with people, the kind of respect they give to people, their understanding, the way they relate, mutual respect, and love. You know, this we feeling, we love this person, they were accommodating, and they would call people. I remember you dare not see an adult on the way in that neighborhood and you just walk past. That's one of the things they were doing that they would tell you. And anybody could call you to order. Not necessarily your parents or your grandmother, but anybody so far it is an adult. So far, he or she, even people that didn't know us. I remember on the way to school then, you just see people telling you, how will you be behaving like that and things like that. They'll be telling us all those. But now, the parenting of nowadays could not, you can't even compare it. Because then, parents went all out. Then that's one thing we're missing. Parents went all out, and those things they didn't just do it. They were doing it, and they were carrying the children along. I remember my dad would always take us on excursions. Yeah. He would take us out, and when he's taking us out today, he may decide, oh, we are going out. He may take us to a bank and tell us, no, he won't take us to a bank, but he may take us to a farm where we see different kind of people, a market. He will tell us he's going to greet maybe a family, an old family, or old friend. He won't tell us anything. We just go there, we see. My dad will just tell us, we're going there, oh. Just, you're following me. And you know the moment you're back in the car. My dad will tell you there's still one place you want to go. He may not take us to a bank or maybe a corporate organization. You know, he will not, well, after the whole thing, he will start asking us, what did you see? What did you note? He will tell us to write. and come and read to him or tell him, start discussion on this. You know, you will compare how people were faring. The person that was, he will tell us, that person that did not go to school, do you like the person? What were the things we liked in that person? What were the things that we didn't like? And those that one we met in the bank, and what were the things that stood out? You know, when you get to a corporate environment, how cool, the AC, everything, how well dressed they are, and you will still ask us, how were they communicating? Were they communicating with respect? And even that person that didn't go to school, he will teach us all those lessons, but we make sure we were able to bring it out. We will just be probing, you know, those probing why, this and that. But nowadays, I think the kind of parenting we are doing now is the children dictating for the parents. That's justice. That is it.
Telling
the
them
parents,
what they want.
No matter how young they are, yes.
Exactly.
Even babies, you know, when the baby cries, oh, I don't want the child to be disturbed emotionally or whatsoever. And we do what the child wants. And I can tell children of nowadays, majority are manipulators. Yeah. If you don't, just like I said, that whatsoever you model is what you see, because parenting is modeling and modeling is parenting. Whatever you put in is what you get. You may not outrightly be the one building that.
Parenting doesn't have to be biological.
No. Parenting cuts across. It could be biological. Even so many things are putting into our parenting. The environment we live, our experiences, the example we bring for the child, our expectation, and so many things will determine what will come into that child, because naturally the child sees what you're doing. If you are the lying type, the child is seeing you lying, and naturally they will pick it, whether you like it or not. And if you are the type that if you are the type that all you do is you know how to manipulate people, your child will also manipulate. If you are the type that you are lazy, naturally he or she will pick it. And we've seen children, naturally when they see parents on phone or watching TV and things like that, naturally they believe that's the way to go, and they too follow suit.
And they pick immediately.
Yes, the worst thing is they pick whatsoever they are doing better. You know, they will say you will be better off than your mentor. Then they will be better off, whether in line, and when they want to be good, they will also be good. So when you are putting good into that child, you will surely get the best out of them. And so one thing we should be asking ourselves, what are we putting into our children? How are we modeling them? Are we modeling them for destruction? Are we modeling them to negative vices, or what will destroy the society tomorrow? Because whatever we do today, the effect will start from today, and we'll see it tomorrow. So
what will be the biggest major parental style, the biggest shift in the parental style, maybe over the past decades?
Over the past decades, I think our parents were firm. They were firm, though some of them were not fair. You can say they were firm, but they were not fair. Our parents were firm, and the parents in those days, they went all out. They had time. They did not necessarily add money, but they had the time. And anything about parenting, a parent to be a friend and a colleague and a senior colleague. Barrister Akinlami is a popular man when it comes to the issue of children. He posted something about raising his son I think last week, or about 2 maybe the penultimate. You know, he now said he's really happy being involved in the life of that child. And now said, parenting is a duty that everyone, the moment you made up your mind to have a child or you're in the society, should take as 100% duty. Because if you are not doing it dutifully, intentionally, you are not doing anything. So parenting is something that you go all out for. Not that, oh, let me just be there. You can't be the absentee one. You can't be the one that is, how do I put that one? You can't be a parent that is not affirmative. You can't be a parent that is not involved, because you can be in a home and you not be involved. You can be you can be right there with your child, you can sit on the same chair just like we are sitting, and you are still not involved. So a parent needs to be involved in the life of that child, because that was what they were doing, that they were involved in the life of the child. Majority of people were involved in the life of the child. How did we miss it? When parents started pushing their duty, their responsibility to caregiver, to other people, taking children to grandmas. Grandmas can be of support, but they are not the one. They've done their own parts. So now it's for you to do your own duty, to perform your duty as a parent or whatsoever you are. But the moment you have a child in your life, either you are the biological parent, mother or father, either you are the auntie. I do say this, that you know, when we're referring to the issue of child or family, the reason why we have a family is the center point is the child. Because the child, when you have a child, let's say this is a child, you have the father, the mother, the auntie, the uncle, the sibling, the grandmother, the grandfather, the niece, and the great-grandfather, everybody. What bring that name? That everybody is calling it because of that child. The child is the center. So we have a role as community, as family, as a society, because the child is the center point of everything we're building. We cannot build the child. There's no way we build the society. There is no way we meet the expectation of whatsoever we have.
And I think another shift that is noticeable is the fact that, you know, during our own time, when it comes to parenting, the attention is always on the mother, that the mother should take care of the child and all. But I think we have a paradigm shift away from that now, looking at both father and mother being involved in the life of the children.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, I thought even in those days, parents were involved. I just told you how my dad used to take us out.
I think it was minimal. Yeah.
Yes, my dad would take us out, but the father, majority of them, they had time to speak to the children. They had time to ask questions to some extent. They had time. Some may bring money to the table and things like that.
That was it.
But everybody was bringing something to the life of the child. But today, most parent feels it's all about money. It's not just about money, especially the men. Men need to do more. As the mother is being intentional to be there, most parents and most women are close to the child, but they are not necessarily in the life of the child. So we need to be in the life of the child. Because, you know, in those days, we're not exposed to so many things like the technology that we have now. When we even get the TV, I remember the TV we had in our house was this open and closed. And nobody will go there. TV station will not start work until later, maybe in the evening. And we don't access to phone. And even your landline, you may be calling your home. I remember in my university days, I may be calling our home for 2 weeks and I won't get across. They won't be linking. The moment it rains, the line is off and things like that. You know, there were no much distraction. And the parent, though the mother, some were working, some were trading, and some were at home with the children. But now, due to the financial situation in the country, both parents need to work. And when both parents are not even working, at least there are things they need to do. Then apart from that, this distraction of TV that I mentioned, you don't even need a TV. You have a phone. I remember a friend telling me that a boy in our son's school, in our children's school, brought a phone, a router, a modem, headphone, and some power bank. That the guy brought everything. Different thing belonging to him. I'm sure the parent must have bought it for him. But most parents don't know it's a form of distraction. When will you have access to that? I didn't even have access to a laptop, or did I say laptop? Desktop, until maybe after secondary school. You understand? So there were no distraction as it is. So, you know, when things like these are happening, we need to up our game.
Yeah.
And secondly, to the issue of father, when the Bible says, I'm a Christian, the book I read, which is the Bible says, I know of Abraham that he will command his children and his household that it will be in the way of the Lord, and he will command peace and judgment. So now, how many fathers are being intentional in teaching their children? Then, despite that Abraham was the one doing it, Sarah was available. You know, when a man passes instruction, the woman should be available to do it. But how many men take opportunity to tell or be involved in the life of their children? Or how many even sit down to communicate, this is the way this family is going, even before starting? And when they are in it, do they even plan? Did they even take it to her that, oh, this child is peculiar. What have you known about your child? Have you studied that child to know that, oh, this is peculiarity about my child? These are what my family should be. These are the vices that I don't want. These are the things I want to channel their strength to. Most people don't do this. But we need to remember that the society is there. And these children spend more time with the society than the time they spend with us. Recently, we're analyzing, we discovered that the children, they spend more time with the teacher, with the school, with their friends, than the time they spend at home.
Exactly.
All they have is just few hours, a couple of hours in the evening.
That is just to do their assignment.
Yes, the assignment, and they eat, they go to table. And then they go to sleep when you're maybe after praying. Whereas, they only have Saturday and Sunday, but whereas what they get from friends, from school, from teachers, and whatsoever, not even talk the exposure, even the little time they spend at home, they're on phone, or they are sat by made of my children, no exposure to phone now. My son was telling me sometimes and say, I How would I know for my friend? They'll send the tab, but the tab is meant for assignments.
I want us to get to that online activities. We get there, but there is something that I want us to actually claim. No, parenting can be mentally exhausting.
Sure.
So how do we take care of that mental aspect, particularly not to transfer aggression on children? Because don't let us lie to ourselves. We have to be intentional, just as you have said it. But the mental aspect, the emotional aspect of it, how do we take care of it?
Actually, I tell people, parenting is a great job, and is fulfilling when you are planning. That's why we need to plan. I just mentioned many people plan before starting a family. You don't have a plan, even number of children you want to have, the environment where you want to live, and those are the things you look at. Where do you want to live? What are the resources available to you? And what are your expectations about your family? What do you want to see? The experiences, what experience have you gained? So if you don't have experience of this, how do you gain those experiences? What are the channels available? Who are the trusted advisors that you have that you can speak to? Because no matter how you are, even if you're a grandmother, there's someone that can still give you a plus, that can add to you addition to what you've learned, either spiritually, mentally, or physically. We know parents do a lot of work now. Most mothers will go out, fathers will go out. But if you have had enough planning, though we know there could be obstruction to some of the planning, but when you have a plan, it will be like a fallback. So when you are going off way, you come back to it. If the mother is working, that's why you always need, I need a God factor. But I know God will not come down to help me to do some things. I have to use my brain and wisdom to do some things. I have to plan. The import of planning is germane in everything we're doing. And do you know why we have some of these mental issues? Is because most of the burden that we carry somehow. Some of us believe that the children, for those of us that we have grown up children or still raising children, some of the things we're supposed to allow the children to try. We want to put all the burden on ourselves. They cannot wash their clothes. Oh, I went through a lot. I went through a lot. I suffered a lot. My children cannot suffer. They cannot do this. No. The washing machine is there. You've not even had money to buy the washing machine. Even it means borrowing money, you want to get it so that it can good to have good things for your family. But why not start by teaching those children little things? Because later in life, if they are not trained, they will have. Children have emotions too, and a lot of mental problem with them. But when you start pushing them, training them to take responsibility gradually, it eases off some of this burden off us. Your child is telling you, I want a phone, and you believe that I should go and buy that phone even if it is on credit. Everybody has a phone, I have to buy that phone. What is the standard you're bringing? What is the standard for your own home? Must you do everything that everyone is doing? If you don't have enough money, why not think of a better school around your house that you can put your children? A lesser school where you will not go into debt. You understand? You will not go into debt rather, so that you have to manage within your resources. And secondly, many parents, just like I said, carry body. Many parents want to outdo others. You're looking at someone else as oh, this person has just bought a car. I must buy a car. Yes, to start carrying my children to school. If that is not possible, it is not, we are not competing. Life is not about competition. Life is about planning and you fulfilling your own purpose. Your purpose could be like training your children. If you can walk 5 minutes to school in a day, it is good. It could be a time to manage their emotions, to grow them. You can be, if you're a Christian or a Muslim, you can teach them spiritual things. Along that trek your school, I remember a particular example someone gave me, that there's this woman whose children were in a school far. I don't want to mention the area. Okay. I think around Oluyole, I don't want to mention the name of school. And they were living somewhere. Let's assume someone is living in Ojo and schooling in maybe like Ojo to Akpata. Let's assume that. Wow. You know, that's you go to distance. A time, the car had issue. They could not repair the car. They could not buy another car. Even the school fee was difficult to pay. The children would trek more than halfway before they would get transport. You know, you can trek little, but not that. You don't said, the children are complaining, they don't want to check. The children said they should get Uber. You know, all these unnecessary burden. So we need to plan and be fair and firm in our parenting. And you can't just be a permissive parent that allows every garbage in, everything that comes in. No, you can't be. If not, you're not building those children, you're not modeling them, you're destroying them. So parents need to watch themselves. What are their own capability? What is it that they have as absorber? So that's why you need to build your own shock absorber. Because this marriage issue, you know, marriage, you transit into parenting. It's not just a journey that you embark on anyhow. It requires a lot of planning. Just like planning to have a child, because most people don't plan. Plan to have a child, plan for where you live, plan for what you give that child, your resources, what are the examples, who are the trusted advisors, who are the people you speak with, who are the people you want to see, like, what experience have you got? Though
So
you know
planning.
experiences changes,
Yeah.
and you keep learning, unlearning, and relearning. If that's not the case, you have not even started. So emotional issues are real. So you have to be concerned about your own mental health.
Is important.
Yes,
It's
but
important.
please don't go all out, because you have to build your children resilience. If you think you don't want them to fall, you don't want them to learn something, you won't be available when they will need those things, and it will be disastrous. So no, now we need to understand that parenting is about, there will be injury, there will be
plenty of it.
There will be time of good, there will be time of bad, and there will be time that your child in modeling, when you are molding a clay, just like we say, like a clay in the hand of the potter, you have to break it and remold. You have to put water, they said you will sieve, remove stone and so many things. At times the potter will put it on let's assume it's a turntable, and as it's rolling out towards the end, it can break. But for children, you can't afford everything to break. So that's why when you're starting from the foundation, you keep putting in all the necessary ingredients. Start teaching them integrity, core values of your family. What are they? Integrity, honesty, transparency, fairness, understanding, communication, and all those things you start bringing it. So all those things will be the foundation that the children will start building on.
Now, since you wanted to talk about the issue of online activities of children, let me start. I will just combine two questions together. That how early is too early for a child to be exposed to digital devices and social media and stuff like that? And how can a parent actually monitor the online activities of children without invading in their privacy?
Thank you so much. Before I go further, there's what they call screen autism now.
Okay.
Because we expose our children to screen, all these digital gadgets early enough. What will a baby be doing watching anything? Your child up to age 2 is not even supposed to have access to TV.
Cartoon.
Most parents from baby, when the newborn baby now, the first thing they put in that baby's room is a screen that the child will be watching. Is wrong. Totally wrong. After age 3, if you want to start teaching your child, maybe learning A's and things that is allowed, but not for screen. Screen time should be limited. For any child, I don't think any child deserves, if you call a child, if not for job and some things are requiring for NIM, for some things. For me, personally, I tell my children, no phone in my house until you are an adult. That it is. But when you are, maybe you want to go for a job and everything, I can buy a phone that will know it's for a particular purpose. Though they have tab, but they are not internet connected. Anytime they want to use, most time they use my phone or my tab or my laptop. Whatever they want to do, we sit down together. Even though they are teenagers, they would have downloaded everything. They would do it, they would download, then they will start working offline. If they want to do study, there are sites you go to. We have this parental guide that you can use to monitor. But I think the most important thing we should be talking about is how do we instill integrity, fear of God, honesty, transparency in our children first, so that when they can trust us enough, and at what age can a child be left that this child can stay on his own, this child has his mind of his own. And as a child, I don't think anybody under 18 still has the mind of their, even adults are easily influenced, not to talk of children. So to me, maybe from 16 you can allow your children, but anything below this age, you should be involved in their life so that you instill those things I mentioned. The fear of God, so that they will know their right from their wrong. So when they are going, even for adults, have you ever witnessed pornography popping up on your phone?
Exactly.
Unauthorized. So you understand, because the world is so sexualized that anything can pop up. So there are things. Most of these cartoon children watch, they've been soaked, LGBTQ has been integrated into them. So you'll be surprised what your children are watching, what they are teaching the children. So are they things, your values? Then how many times have you sat down with your child, okay, want to watch a film, and see what they are watching? How is it going? Have you gone ahead to watch it before allowing them? And what kind of things do they watch? So I don't allow children for at least their screen time in a week should not be maximum 2 hours. In a week, I'm not talking about a day.
A day, wow.
A day, no. In a week should not be more than, because they don't need all this. Now we need interconnectivity, physical connection with people. I remember there's this AI that popped up on my phone recently, and it was telling us that, I don't want to, I can't know the name, but I know it ends with EELEE or so. Okay. It was saying, do you desire a friend? Do you want someone you can talk to, you can communicate with? Do you want a model? You know, he mentioned all the quality you will have in your best friend. You know, so do you desire someone like that? An app has been developed for you. All you need is pick a character that you like, just pick all those qualities and put it, and you'll be communicating.
Imagine.
With that, people have not gone. I used to tell my children when they say, there's one app you can use. I said, I can use app for things that app are made for. Maybe I told them that those apps are people finishing the world. We need people to communicate with, to build relationship. Even if you are using app, you still need people, because app cannot on itself. Sure. It's what people put into artificial intelligence and all those apps that they will bring out. So I told them, you have to build relationship with people, because if you can't relate with people, managing people is the most difficult thing in life. If you don't have that skill, it will be difficult to navigate the course of life. So we need to build in our children. Let them, their siblings, what is the relationship? When you go to most homes now, a child will be there on his or her tab. Another one will be at that corner. There's no communication,
and
no relationship.
Also and
the parents on their own phone. Nobody is communicating. Nobody is telling anybody all they want is they are getting whatever attention on the phone. And these are the essence that children will meet people that will start telling them all this cyberbullying. And some will even come as friends and tell them to go into what they are not supposed to go. Either pornography, either trafficking, and even committing suicide, to the level of committing suicide, or being initiated into some courts. All this happens through this technology. As this technology carries advantages, it carries a lot of disadvantages. And which are these things are not actually made for children. You know, as it is that so many health disadvantages attached to it. So we have to be careful what we're doing on this one, how we're using it. Some of us as adults are even addicted to phone, and addiction are very difficult to build, to break. So the best thing is don't allow your children to get addicted to phone, because it is the moral decadency we have in societies today. Most of them are learned through technology.
And even the attention span. Attention
span now. You can see what is coming out of WAEC. As I was sitting in your reception this morning, I was reading about the WAEC that they are just doing that. There's mass cheating and all sorts. They were just saying all this. And what is it? Because children don't have attention to read again. All they want to do is on system. There was a day I called a teacher in my children's school. I said, why is it that all assignments given are now to be done on phone? Because my daughter was telling me, lazy too. They are now. My daughter was telling me that she did her own assignment from her brain. She used her textbook and everything, and the teacher scored her low. That those that copied from AI, they got like 9, 8, 9, 10, and she got 6. And she said she has done this, but because those who want copied word for word, and the teacher will not know. She now said that you've been saying that you need to address it. I said, we'll address it. A teacher was now with me, was it yesterday? And on Sunday, I was now saying, why do you people give children, and why are we buying textbooks? Because the textbook we bought, majority of you don't use. Now tell them to go on phone, they will copy notes directly. I said, I even told the teacher, I said, do you know your notes? Your direct note, not the one from another school. I can open it for you where you got it on online, maybe on Google, whatever. It's word for word. Because they don't want to work in those. The teacher will sit down
with their lesson notes.
You would think you put life experience there and everything, but everything is. We know digital technology has come to stay, but please, we need human feeling, and we need these children to think. If everything is thinking for them, how would they work? Even when you're writing a book or whatsoever you're using art, you still have to bring down those human experience and inculcate so many things. But if we don't train them to do, how would they cope when the time arises? We need to build them up and make sure they are strengthened when the horse is down, they need something to fall back on.
Yes, on a final note, because having a healthy life balance, particularly with work, you have a lot to juggle with. Your work, your career, your business. So how do we strike a balance? Because this is the life of a 21st century parenting.
That's it.
So how do we strike a balance in all of this?
Yes, we need to strike a balance. As a mom or as a father, as a parent, All you need to do, you need to understand yourself first. Then you need to, most people are just like I mentioned, planning. Plan. What is convenient for you may not be convenient for someone else. But make sure that you are not just lazy, taking excuse. Plan your day, plan your time. Because if you look at it, at time, parenting is 24 hours job. It's round the clock. At night, you're waking up to check on the children. At night, you just remember there are things you need to do. If what will work for A will not work for you, please do what is work for you. Sit down by yourself. Or you look for, in this part of the world, people don't go to counseling. They don't go to, people are not chest for knowledge. You should go all out. Go to places. I even tell parents, go on vacation. You just be saying, I can't leave my children. Can you just leave maybe 1 or 2 days from your home and let your brain be refreshed so that you can think well, you can be a better version of yourself, because you need yourself. Either you like it or not, these children will leave, but you are just a guardian. Even God gave his own children for us, for Mary and Joseph to raise. And while doing that, they too, there were times that they were resting. They were not following him all about. He was going about. But you as a parent, you need to take a rest from this busy world, from this economic crisis, from all of that is happening, so many things, mental health issue. You need to sit down, take your own relaxation, and teach your children as you're doing it. Have a family time and have a me time. I tell people, your me time. Make sure there is a time you're sitting down as a person or as with your husband. Those times may look small, but the time you take in planning, sitting down, you relax as a family. Burden you're carrying alone, share with your husband or share with trusted advisor. You just, they always say that a burden shared is half solved. When you lift your burden, it may be difficult to get trusted advisors, but there are people you can still trust. That's why you can go all out. There are so many NGOs, counselors, and people around there. Just pour your heart. I remember a particular day, a woman walked into my office. This was when I was young. I've not even started there. I've not even gone to university. And she was just telling me things, and she kept on telling me things. I was just looking at her. She not told me, my dad, I've spoken with you, but I feel better. So we need it. Plan your time. When you're going out, you don't just be the rushing type. When you rush, you end up being choked up. Plan your day early, beyond. Don't just start your day that day. Let it start from you. Plan your day before it comes. And plan your life. Have a plan, have a diary, have a planner. For the month, for the year, what do you expect? Don't let things just come as it is. Let things work out. Plan your things out. Plan your marriage, plan your wedding, plan your parenting skill, plan your work, plan how you deal with your children, and how you do your social life, your everything you do. Plan it. And please, don't be too rigid to ask for help. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you know what you're doing.
And it's even a sign that you are human.
Yes. So please, let us all go out and help those children so that you can have a better society. And you yourself, later in life, you can feel relaxed and you'll be happy that you've done a good job. Then allow your children space. Some parents just giving them phone and everything. When you teach them, when you're sure, allow them space and give them time. Communication is key.
It's key.
Very, very important.
Yeah, very thank you to Mrs. Oluwatoyin for this insightful time on the program this morning as we look at 21st century parenting. It's an established fact. Parenting has to be intentional. You have to be intentional with everything as regards modeling those children. We have a lot of moral decadence thriving today because of the failure of the parents to do the needful. But we can actually put an end to this if we do what we need to do at the right time. Once again, many thanks to Ms. Oluwatoyin for your time on the show this morning. We'll go on a break now to allow for sport update with Adebola Adeleke. Do stay with us.